I still remember the first time I laid eyes on Lauren. It feels like it happened just yesterday. There was something about her that stopped the world. Her laughter had a brightness that made everything else fade, and I was instantly drawn in. I wasn't anyone special, not overly attractive, not wealthy, just an average man. But I loved her with everything I had. Or at least I thought I did. I believed that if I gave her comfort, security, and a future without uncertainty, it would be enough. But life has a cruel way of proving you wrong. At first, the shift was barely noticeable. A dinner she couldn't make. A few late nights at work. Lauren had just started a new position at a marketing agency and threw herself into the role with enthusiasm. She often mentioned her colleagues, mostly other women. She'd reassure me. But one name surfaced again and again, Jason. Jason had said this. Jason had helped her with that. At the time, I brushed it off. Why would I suspect anything? We were husband and wife. We had made promises to each other. I trusted her completely. As time passed, her absences became more frequent. She seemed glued to her phone, typing away with a slight smile she tried to hide. She started putting extra effort into how she looked before leaving for work. More makeup, different outfits. Alarm bells rang, but I ignored them, hoping it was just my imagination. Love does that to you. It blinds you, softens your judgment, even as it quietly bleeds you dry. The moment that shattered it all came one Saturday. Lauren had gone out for brunch with friends. I was cleaning the kitchen when her tablet lit up on the counter. Unlocked. A message flashed across the screen. Jason, I can't stop thinking about last night. When can I see you again? My pulse spiked. My hands turned cold. I opened the tablet. My worst fears laid bare before me in a string of messages. Conversations dripping with intimacy, flirtation, and betrayal. This wasn't just a passing crush or a mistake. It was months of deceit, all dressed up as harmless friendship. That evening when she came home, I had the tablet waiting for her on the kitchen table, the damning messages still open. She froze in the doorway like a deer caught in headlights. Her face drained of color. She whispered my name, trying to begin some sort of justification. I stayed calm. Too calm. Explain, I told her. She scrambled for excuses, landing on the classic line. It was a mistake. A harmless mistake. Harmless? I laughed, not out of humor, but pain. The kind of bitter sound that comes from betrayal. You really think months of lying, sneaking around, and disrespecting our vows is harmless? She cried. She begged. She said it didn't mean anything. But by then, her tears meant nothing to me. They were just more lies, more illusions. I told her to leave that night. No arguments. No second chances. Just her phone, and a small bag she threw together on her way out. The same phone she'd used to destroy everything we had. I didn't sleep. I sat in silence, memories of our wedding haunting the stillness. Her face in that dress, her smile, all of it a lie in hindsight. That's when the idea came to me. Dark. Final. But undeniably right. Her wedding dress was still in the closet. She had talked about preserving it forever, keeping it like a symbol of the happiest day of our lives. But that symbol was now a reminder of broken promises. So I went to the hardware store. Bought a metal bin, lighter fluid, matches. I waited until dusk. Then I folded the dress and placed it gently into the bin in our backyard. One match and the fire took it. Flames consumed the satin and lace, turning them into black smoke and ash. The scent was sharp, but to me it was the scent of something being set right. When the fire died down, I collected the ashes and sealed them in a small box. I wrote a note, not a rant, not a plea, just something that cut deep. A quiet message that would echo. I told her she had called it a mistake. But mistakes have consequences. She had burned the foundation of our marriage, so I burned what was left of it. I asked her never to return, never to call. This was over. I left the box and the note on the dining table, locked the doors, turned out the lights, and went to bed. That night, for the first time in a long while, I slept peacefully. The next morning, Lauren came to collect some of her things. I heard her calling out for me, but I didn't answer. Then came the gasp and the sobbing. It was the kind of cry that sounds like a soul splitting in two. I stayed upstairs unmoved. She pleaded, begged, cried. then left, slamming the door behind her. She never returned. In the weeks after, I focused on healing. I joined a gym, started volunteering at the animal shelter down the street, reached out to old friends I had distanced myself from. I even began seeing a therapist. Slowly, I started to reclaim pieces of myself I had forgotten. I became someone stronger, calmer, not hardened but wiser. Through mutual friends, I heard Lauren's life had unraveled. Jason had broken things off shortly after my discovery. Apparently, he didn't want to be with someone capable of infidelity. Lauren had moved into a tiny apartment, trying to piece her life back together. There were days I wondered if I should feel sorry for her, but mostly I felt free. I was finally unburdened. Months later, I ran into her at a local coffee shop. She looked different. Tired, older in a way that had nothing to do with age. She tried to speak, to offer another apology. I stopped her with a quiet voice, steady and clear. "I've moved on. You should too." And then I walked away. Some endings don't come wrapped in clean closure. Sometimes, you have to create your own, with fire, with truth, with silence. Burning that dress was never about revenge. It was about reclaiming power, choosing peace over pain. That was the day I closed the chapter for good. And now looking forward, I carry no bitterness. Only clarity.